Is it live yet? Oh, okay.
Yes. Hello and welcome to the Bit.Country and Metaverse Network Crowdcast series. I'm Gardi. I'm the Business Development Manager for Bit.Country, and I'll be your host for today. I'm so happy to see all of you. We've got a full house. Just before we start, I want to let you know that there'll be two parts to today's webinar. Part two, we'll be joined by our co-founders and CTOs, Justin Pham, CTO Blockchain Lead, and Shannon Christie, CTO Gaming. So stay tuned for part two, and we will be answering your questions. So please leave your questions in the Ask a Question box below, and have a look at some of the questions there, and upvote the questions that you resonate with. So that will be in part two. But first, I'd love to introduce you to our CEO and co-founder, serial entrepreneur in multi-million-dollar tech businesses, and a Web3 enthusiast, Ray Lu. Welcome.
Hey, Gardi.
It's great to have you here.
Hello, everyone. I forgot we have so many people watching us. Carol?
Yeah. And I'd also love to introduce you to our two ladies here, Mercia Pretorius. She is the Business Development Manager from Industry Connect in Australia. Welcome.
Thanks, Gardi. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you. And Rayshmar, Janani, you are the Consultant and Business Development Manager for Industry Connect in Singapore. Welcome.
Thanks, Gardi. Thank you for having us. We are excited to be here.
Oh, thanks for joining us. And for those watching us from home, let me just give you a brief intro on Industry Connect. They're the education incubator, if you will, another one of Ray Lu's businesses, and they will be running and hosting the Metaverse Career Academy. Now, Rayshmar and Mercia are new Web3 users, and we're going to join them today as they learn a bit more about the Polkadot and Kusama crowdloans from Ray. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to you, Ray.
Cool. Thanks, Gardi. Thanks for hosting us. Hello, everyone. Great to see you here. My friends, Alastair from France is here too. Hello. So recently, Polkadot is going to launch the new parachain auctions as well as Kusama. As a matter of fact, Kusama already launched the auction last night. There's about 5 to 6 teams competing right now, and we are one of them. So we thought we'll use this opportunity in the second part of the session to invite our co-founders, Justin Pham and also Shannon and Christie, to do some Ask Me Anything, AMAs. But firstly, I still want to educate about the crowd loan, especially to the Web3 users, like Rayshmar and Mercia. They are holding cryptos. We'll be gifting some dots, to their wallets to say Merry Christmas. But I want to teach you guys how to use them. Okay, so
that would be good.
Yes.
Okay, so before I start, I only have one pager really. I didn't, write a lot of slides because, if I do that, I'll confuse you, okay, with all the details. But what I want to do is gonna be question based. I propose you something that you can look into, and you tell me what's your questions, what your concerns, or are we gonna run away with your money, or how the loan gonna be returned? I know you're gonna ask those things. So so let me start. So on Polkadot and ecosystem, there's a needs for project to be connected to the network. You can think Polkadot blockchain as a relay chain is like a router. I need to plug my computer to the relay chain so I can connect with the rest of the networks or other computers. So in order to get a slot, it's not permanent. It comes with a cost because that's consumes some resources for securities. What we need to do is we need to join an auction to bid for that slot. And in the auction, the currency or the digital coin we can use is only DOT or KSM, on Kusama. So here is a Kusama and a Polkadot. They are part of the Polkadot ecosystem. Kusama is the canary network. You can think like a cousin, the wild cousin of Polkadot. So project can choose to launch on Kusama first and then on Polkadot. I can explain more later. But now we just use Kusama, okay? So assume using KSM. The one I give you is actually KSM, well, which is a lot more expensive now. Okay, so here's a proposition. So Mercia and Rayshmar, now you're holding KSM. Okay, I know that you can stake your KSM to the network to ensure security. In return, I think Kusama network gives you about 16% return per annum, right? That's pretty good, right? In the terms of the KSM. Whereas in the modern days, the bank itself only gives you about 2% or 1% interest rate. And now we say, there's like a 6 projects, asking, hey, ladies, can you please lend me your KSM for 48 weeks? Okay. We will use your KSM to participate in an auction for securing the slot on Kusama.
Right. Okay.
It feels like, oh, I'm gonna borrow money from you, like my cousin borrow money from me. But are they gonna return it? Yes, we'll return to you in 48 weeks after the lease expired, and then in return, you probably think about, okay, you're getting 16% from Kusama. What am I gonna offer to you? So in this case, I propose, we offer you, say, for example, 15% of our total supply to all the contributors, okay? Equivalent of 68 near for each KSM you'll lend to me for a year, okay? So what's your question now?
So my question is, who can participate in this?
Anyone who holds the KSM token can participate. And it's very easy. Project have project page. Kusama has its own kind of Polkadot.js page. You allow you to go there and contribute. But Shannon later can show you how to do that.
All right. So how can I get a KSM? It's a KSM token, right? How can I get a token?
You can buy it from elsewhere. I wouldn't advertise for the exchanges. You can buy it many places.
Where I got my others from?
Fiat currency, Australian dollars or Singaporean dollars. Yeah.
All right. And then once I've bought this, how can I participate in the, getting involved?
Yeah, so there'll be a web page you can go, which is, we can show you later how you do that. But at this point, what's your concern? Like, okay, I'm gonna borrow money from you for 48 weeks, and I'll give you 16.8 our token, our money, our utility token called NEAR, NEER. So what's on your mind right now?
Like, what are the risks? What are the risks involved in this, right? So, for example, if I have tokens, I have KSMs, right? And then we have done an exchange, and you're going to bid for the auction with the dots or the KSMs that I have. So, what are the risks potentially that I may face if I'm taking part in this?
That's good, because you literally, it's like your uncle knocking your door, say, Rayshmar, can you give me some money? I'll give it back to you. First thing you probably think about, I'm going to run away with your money, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that's the beauty of a blockchain. There's no middleman facilitate the process. It's the code contract on the blockchain facilitate the entire process. So that means if 1 equal to 1 is true, then this happens. It's guaranteed. It's trustless. That means you don't need to trust. You just need to think it's going to happen. Okay, it's just like a Bitcoin. It's always there. It's destroyed. For the last decade. So yeah, you don't need to worry about it. The money will be returned to you when the lease expired. We don't hold the money. Another thing is we can only use your KSM to bid. Moreover, we actually don't have control over it. The bidding process is automatic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in terms to say the risk-wise, it's not. There's no risk in a way.
If you're holding KSM, there's no risk, right?
Okay.
However, itself KSM value fluctuates. That's why
in itself, by itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But I can explain to you later how you can mitigate that risk. Yeah. What's your second concern?
So after the year, so we get the money back, or what happens then?
Sorry, say it again.
So you said that it's for a year that you guys will have this token. Once the year is up, will you give the token then refunded, or how does that work? You see,
So
I'm so new at this. I'm a newbie, clearly.
Yeah. So that will return to you automatically when the lease expires. So you don't need to worry about. So it returns to the wallet that you contributed.
Trust wallet. Okay.
So what are the benefits of that then? Is there benefits after that? What are the benefits?
In return, we give you, our tokens as a benefit.
The new, what is it?
In this case, near on Kusama.
Near. Okay. So what's in it for me? So whoever gets into this, Ray, am I right to say that what's in it for me would be the percentage that the company is going to give back to us at the end of the lease period? Is that what's in it for me?
So after lease, you get your money back, all right? You get the KSM back.
Yeah.
At the same time, you got your near token from us, but our token will be listed on the exchange in the future when we launch. So that's money. I know it's very hard to comprehend for new users. It's
equated money.
Asset that you can liquidate it on the market. You can sell it to other things that you consider as money. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when do I start? Like, when can anyone start on this, Ray?
Usually, Kusama announced, there's about 5-6 projects, starting the auction, and you can start betting. Now there's about 42 auctions scheduled. So it's all on the Twitter, and you can participate. But here's another thing: is that there will be multiple projects available at the same time. All right. For example, Bit.Country near will be start auctioning. Asking you to lend your KSM. There will be other projects like a Picasso, and some other projects. So you probably in this time you can think, if I stake my KSM, I get 16%, from the Kusama network. If I lend to you, you gave me your token. So you probably try to figure out, is your token going to be worth more than the 60% of KSM, right? At the same time, these other projects have different offerings. And you can see here. So this creates a very good kind of a community vetting process, allowing users, the KSM users, to do research about a project, to think, to come up a decision if this particular project actually can deliver the value more than your KSM reward for the year.
I see. So it then encourages people who are going to get into this to kind of find out a little bit more about which one suits them and their risk appetite, and then choose that particular project to go on with.
Yes. Yeah. So for us to honor the early adopters, we actually not only have the base reward, but also offer the bonuses, early birds, and also 5% referral split. And also we have Justin's idea, which I like, mystery gift, because we can people with owning land blocks at a Bit.Country, they can launch their own metaverse, and then later they can subdivide it. For example, for this Christmas, you got a land, if you're lucky, and then you can subdivide it, and your metaverse, there's a map, there's a 3D world. Your friends and families and even kids can play games there, and the people owning land can have some earning opportunities, and also they can develop on top of the land. And so we plan to allocate the land subdivisions and land blocks to our user. So that's what we're offering. So that's how does that sound?
No, pretty good.
Exciting.
Exciting.
All right, so I'm gonna share a screen. Just a second. Yeah, so I think we got some people already participated in the crowdloan. Here, I want to give you a little bit of background about our project. A lot of people know that we actually building Bit.Country, which is our layer 2 application. Allow people to come in here to launch their own metaverse. That's with a UI and an app, you can actually join and play. Underneath of that, actually, we have a blockchain allowing ecosystem project to launch their smart contracts. So we haven't really promote our blockchain at the stage, but you see of this, we had about 4 projects coming to us. They're interested to launch their smart contract once we become parachain. I think the value proposition is, we set up a land grant, once people, project team decided to, work with us, have a really strong team experience and ideas, we also, gave some land to them so they can launch their projects. For example, we have a music project interested because they can use the metaverse to showcase their apps, put the music and the videos around.
Nice.
Yeah, so in here you can see the journey. We see that on Web2 you have social groups. Those are Twitters, Telegrams, that we use every day. We see that a lot of people are interested in working with us to launch their own metaverse to bring their members to the metaverse, because there's a 3D world, there's a land, marketplace, and also you have games. Plus, you can get your members get involved in the governance. To space theme, your stakeholders, like for example your landowners, they participate in the vote. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. I think that's not new to a lot of people here. How about we start inviting our team here? We can talk about more about Bit.Country, and also
Good
Shannon
idea.
actually
Sure.
do a little demo that with our app.
Awesome. I just want to thank you, ladies, for coming and for letting us be a part of your journey as you learn about Kusama and Polkadot Crowdloans. Thank you so much. And
so, excuse me, I'm going to go buy Kusama now.
Yes.
Well, ever since the Kusama launched and we launched our Crowdloan, the price went up. Hopefully, it's not because of us.
All right. Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, sorry for being very short, because we started a session organization before the Kusama, and after that we see the Kusama launch. A lot of people interested to know more about our project. So yeah, we'll give more time to the founders. Thank you.
Great. Perfect. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hello. Welcome, Shannon. Justin.
Hey, Gardi. Hey, Ray. Hey, everyone.
Hello, Gardi. Hey. Hello, Ray. Hello, everyone. Hi, Shannon.
I see the questions have been coming in. Would you like me to have a look at them? Let's see. Upvotes. We've got 5 upvotes here. Do you plan to launch on both Polkadot and Kusama? If so, would there be crowdloans for both? And how would the Kusama parachain differ from the one on Polkadot? Super question. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. That's exactly what we want to talk about today, because from the Twitter and the Telegram community, our support team have a lot of feedback around. General, people just want to know what's the use cases that when people launch on Kusama, then launch on Polkadot. Here at the Bit.Country Metaverse Network, we do have a strong kind of use case. Actually, I call it the Metaverse Odyssey. Right. Our plan with the Pioneer Network is that we want to be generous and reward more, give back to the community, the early users, the pioneers. Right. So they become a user, launch their own metaverse, and we will onboard them and also order their effort by giving more rewards, so that become the early builders of the network. For example, I would like to say I want every pioneers near users to launch their own metaverse, and then invite their members to share the land, play games, to build out the community. At the same time, we are in the middle, not harvesting their value, while nowadays YouTube, Facebook actually harvest the time of the community and then distribute a portion of the profits to the creators. That's the value chain that we're disrupting. So what we're here is building the infrastructure, issue tokens, allow them to transact directly and benefit from the growth of the individual community. So that's the value proposition for big influencers. We've been working with we want to announce that in the near future, some big influencers and communities joining us. They see that this is a great use case for them to not only entertain their community members, but also giving the ownership of the community as an asset to individuals who contribute to grow the community. It's just like a company, with I don't want to call it shareholders, but co-owners to grow together. Whereas now the community members are really just the followers being entertained without being rewarded. So that's a problem I see, because in the future, as long as people spend time adding value to the community, they should have an earning opportunity at the same time. So
Definitely.
yeah, back to why we have these two worlds, two dimensions, I would like to call it. So we want to use Pioneer Network to onboarding new users by giving them more opportunities. And then when we launch on Polkadot, it's more for like an enterprise scale, large scale adoption. But we can't do it ourselves, right? Because the pioneers I consider as part of our team. We train them, we honor them. We want to select some of them come with us when we launch on Polkadot. So those people, those metaverses and the communities will become the initial early adopters on the continuum. So our Polkadot version will be called a continuum. So on day one, we have experienced the builders and the community owners, metaverse owners, and the citizens on the continuum to educate more the public at a much larger scale, right? At the same time, they benefit from the growth of the network. We're thinking, just a random number, maybe 20% of the Kusama metaverses on Pioneer metaverses will be chosen or through like a NFT ticket. So when we launch on Kusama, those metaverse who holding those tickets can join us to jump on Continuum and start a new journey that way. So that's the general plan. Why I have this concept? Because you see the co-founders here, like Justin and Shannon, they were my students many, many years ago at the Industry Connect. I founded in 2013. I had a journey with them so that they've been working for me for many years, right? The journey, the picture I draw for them, and I've been proving is that from students to become employees. Of course, they are top students many years ago. Otherwise, I wouldn't hire them. Well, I have 2,000 students, in the community. From students to become employees. Now, I proved further. It's almost the third, 75% of my journey. They become co-founders. And then my plan is that constantly in our meeting, I said, look, Shannon, you shouldn't just work for me. And I don't work forever, by the way. You shouldn't work for someone forever. You should just go for your own journey. And Justin always say, I want to have my own sky. I said, okay, here's the journey. The next phase, when we totally decentralized with a Bit.Country Metaverse network, you should do your own startup. The good thing, you can either choose to do your own startup on our existing network or down the track. But this structure not only give us a very strong relationship in our team, but also speaking of human nature, they are incentivized by having a big stake because being early, being part of the journey, and believing in it. So what I'm doing now is I want to recreate a journey for the entire Pioneer Network builders. The builders are the metaverse owners, the land owners, the NFT owners, even the developers, the people who actually have money and power, who help other land owners to develop on top of it. So this is the journey I want to create, and I think it's a win-win-win. I win because I can retire early. They win; they have their own sky one day, right? And we all win because we all the users, we all the owners of the network, because we're either going to hold a near or a new, because the network is not governed by us. Initially, it probably is, because we are larger holders. But in the future, when it becomes decentralized, really, there's no one here can make a decision by themselves. It has to be the near holders or the new holders. So, yeah. So in summary, we want to have a Metaverse Odyssey, taking people from the Pioneer dimension to Continuum dimension through a plan called the Great Migration. And then we can jump on the space-time, I call it space-time warp together, and then teleport our metaverses that exist in Kusama. Some people want to stay, that's fine. They can stay to educate more users come to Kusama version of a Bit.Country. and then some people may choose to work with us, and going to a journey and trip to continue on Polkadot. Yeah, I'm very excited about this, and that could be one of the biggest migration social experiment on Web3. We envisage that we have tens of thousands of metaverse to be created in the near future. We want to work with 20% of them. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ray. And I think many people had that question as well. So I think that answered a lot of questions there. And on to the next one with 4 upvotes. Do all contributors to the crowd loan with more than 1 KSM have a chance of getting a land block or pioneer rewards? And second question, does Kusama contributor have special treatment for the upcoming Noom token and especially land blocks at Polkadot side, since we are early supporters? 3, we should maybe break it up, but is there any whitelist for land block for Kusama and Polkadot side? Okay, let's just do the first 2. I think you've kind of touched on those already. So is there anything you want to add to the question 1 and 2, Ray? To all contributors?
Yeah, so that's a question asked a lot lately. I want to tell you guys, it's not that we try to play some game hiding the formula. It's really for 2 reasons. Because if we expose our formula, there will be a lot of whales coming to pretty much take up all the land, and whereas other people wouldn't have a chance. Another thing is if we tell people, hey, each wallet will get a land, there will be people breaking up all the KSM into hundreds of wallets. So again, people will game the system. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. If it's a system with the loopholes, so I can tell you, this one thing though is that we will use square meter aligned with the total contribution you made to make up your total amount of land. However, the tricky part is that 1 block is 10,000 square meter. If your amount is not enough to meet that, you wouldn't be able to get the entire block. So we can't chop it in half because subdivision is not happening before the genesis of a new metaverse, right? So that's a tricky part. However, we still look at the pattern of the data. Our goal is to give all the land lovers, metaverse lovers, a chance of to become a pioneer. That's our principle. It's not we want to give only to the people who have a lot of KSM or money. However, we have to acknowledge those solid contributors, because that's their investment, that's their trust in us, right? Yeah, we just need to balance that. That's why we want to use the data to speak for the fact, and that's why we didn't announce how we distribute it. But in general, we want to have a fair system. That fair system only happens after we see the facts. Yeah. But Justin, Shannon, this is actually Justin's brilliant idea for a fair system. Justin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, I think all the points that as you mentioned, right? So we're just trying to make sure that we have a lot of fair distribution of land. Just making sure everyone has a fair chance of having the piece of land and they can build on their own metaverse. So yeah, I think at this stage, we can't really review all the much of details of information, but just stay tuned with with Bit.Country Crowdloan. Yeah, I believe that the whole thing won't let you down. All right, so that's
yeah. I see Polka mentioned no land for 1 KSM. That's not true. Polka, our intention is to give that to as many as true users as we can using a fair system. That's our intention. So you can think about how we're going to do it. Of course, with a fraction of KSM, try to game the system, that wouldn't work because we have a BI to be done there. So yeah, so that's I hope you guys got understand our intention. Our intention to make pioneer for everyday people. Can join without breaking the bank. Yeah. All right.
Ray, if I can go back to point 2 of this question, will we give early supporters special treatment for the upcoming Noom token and land blocks in Polkadot?
Yeah, so that's another good question which is asked very often. I think our plan will be around like a Polkadot projects usually tend to whitelist the qualified participants or contributors on the Canary network Crowdloan, right? We also have an intention to do this, although we didn't announce, but I will honor them because they believe in us and trust us. We want to give them more opportunities to be part of our whitelisted public sale. The reason being is, some people think, oh, that's another opportunity to spend money, but for a project like ours, public sale with a reasonable valuation, it's a gift. Okay, just on the list, we have over 200 private investors wanting to invest into us, but we decided not to do another round before the Crowdloan. The reason being is that we want to make sure that Crowdloan participants has the best vesting period, has the best, like we do 30% on day one, right? And all the private investor will be locked out for 12 months without getting anything. And our team will lock out for 18 months without getting anything. Even after 18 months, internally, we have agreement among our co-team members. We act in concert. Nobody allowed to sell, at your wish. I'm a little bit controlling in this part. The reason being is we want to look after the community. We want to build this like a 10 years plan, not only about wealth. We just want to, use the metaverse to make some small change to the world we're living in, whereas the wealth is not being distributed very efficiently. Whereas in the metaverse, we are as a network, decentralized network, we are not in the middle harvesting value. We want to see that the community members and the owners can grow together. So that's part of our vision. So yeah, so whitelisting definitely for qualified contributors. Qualifying criteria will be around, other people who use the amount of KSM to contribute, right? We'll probably use something similar because the higher contributors seems to be more serious. Or we have a different categories, from this category, this amount category, this is the allocation you can have. For higher, this is the allocation you have. So people with less money, they still can participate. We want to give them a chance. We want them to feel left out or anything. Yeah. In terms of land, we haven't got a clue yet. But if you can secure, become a contributor, likely you have some land. And then, but the exciting part is that we want to take you, to take a journey to jump into the space-time warp, go to Continuum, whereas you get two land, one left behind as your legacy on Pioneer, and the new one will be given to you on a Continuum on Polkadot if you Metaverse qualifies it.
Excellent. Thanks, Ray. I think my cat wants some near as well. He's begging by the door. Excellent. So let's go back. So Anne, thank you very much for this very detailed question. I know many people have asked this, so it's awesome. We really appreciate it. And let's just go to number 3 here. Is there any whitelist for land blocks for Kusama and Polkadot side? And
is there any whitelist for land? We haven't really prepared a public sale for land blocks yet. When we do, we probably will, because that way, for people who really want to launch a metaverse for your own people, either for your friends, for your family, or for your entire community, we've got a community wanting already sign an agreement with us, bring over 300,000 members in their metaverse. And also, we had a strong builders who want to develop their own metaverse. They want to develop a continent. Yeah, we can plan for that. So onboarding user quickly. But our primary goal is after our land distribution, we'll provide our own platform land auction. We don't want to sell the land too quickly, allow people to keep expanding their map without doing too much things on their land. We want to see that people have their land, subdivide them, share with other people, or sell it, and they can build on top of it. And then we will use that as part of the matrix to calculate our release rate. But in general, yeah, we want the people come here to get the land when they really need it. So we don't want to oversupply or supply that quickly.
Excellent, thanks, Ray. And last one here, how much supply for near land block, since Newman's 100 million? Thank you, love Bit.Country, the future. Thanks, Ains. So
Thanks,
how much
thanks, Ains. The total supply, we already got a figure. Again, we want to use the data. We want to make sure the land economy is designed that we have enough early users. We also have right amount of supply, enough for future users without diluting or making too many big empty metaverses. So that's again, that's why we want to see the data first, and then we can work out a very good plan. Also protect your interest, your benefits, because with the too many lands available, not only it's gonna be spamming around, but also your land wouldn't have too much value because supply is too much. So we will work out an economy based on the data, so that will be very accurate.
Excellent. Okay. And let's go here for 3 upvotes. Do you plan to buy back in the future when the market price becomes unstable or decreases? And number 2, how do you deal with the effects of a significant price drop? Okay, I think everyone's doing like 3 at the same time. Let's just do the first one. Do you plan to buy back in the future when the market price becomes unstable or decreases?
Buy back in the future. Well, again, that's determined by the council, right? We have a general council. Justin can talk about this council. I'm not sure which council. It's probably general council's business.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, I think in terms of like some kind of like any significant events and some things that causing more attentions into the community. I think because Bit.Country Metaverse Network is more as the decentralized base, and it's more like community driven. So it's really up into the decision of the whole community. If they want to create a proposal to make any some significant decision, they can just create a proposal. If they go through all the votes and stuff like that, it's going to be executed. Yeah, I think in terms of that's kind of like the events, like the price drops or anything that affects the future of Bit.Country. I think the decision is coming from the community.
Excellent, thanks for that, Justin. And another question related to this. Let me just go back here. Hold on a second. How do you deal with the effects of a significant price drop?
Well, I think the first question answer, I think it's already covered that as well. Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, and then I will maybe ask Shannon the next one, number 3. Will there be an NFT project in the future? Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the question. So in one regard, I wonder 100% what you mean by NFT project in the future. In one regard, Bit.Country and the platform is kind of already about the community and giving a place where you can put NFTs into the world and stuff like that. So depending on exactly what you mean by that, Bit.Country is maybe already that NFT project, because we do have that support for being able to place your NFTs into the world, give them some kind of new or unique, interesting behavior. And that's one of the kind of goals of the platform as well. Like what I'm doing with my team in the metaverse part is building that kind of experience where you can put something in there, give it a new place, give it a new life, have your NFTs on display and doing something other than just being in your wallet.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Shannon. And thanks for the question, Harris. Okay, so we've got question here from Anachinam. How do I participate in Polkadot Crowdloans? Ray, do you want to answer that question?
So again, we are working on Pioneer Network first on Kusama. Probably in 6 to 10 months, we plan to launch our Continuum network on Polkadot. So that's simple answer.
Excellent. So the Polkadot is next phase. And we had a question here. Let me just see. for so many questions coming through. Here from Zero Proof, what will make this metaverse stand out from all others like it, and what will keep it from dying like many before you? Shannon, I'll ask you to answer that question.
What will make this metaverse stand out from all the others like that, and what will keep it from dying like many before you? Okay. All right, sure. I guess that kind of has many parts to it, so potentially we'll have a little bit to share on that. But I think an important part with how we're aiming to do things with Bit.Country, with Metaverse Network and stuff like that, is making it more about making it more about your ability to create your own metaverse, rather than necessarily us trying to make our own one that we expect everyone to get involved with. I think that is, of course, a fairly large difference compared to other projects that have come out before. We want to be able to build this platform, this ecosystem, where we can enable you to have your success by creating your metaverse, and really just giving the control to you, be a platform to enable other people to achieve things. So like Ray said earlier, a lot of thought goes into thinking, how can we make this a win-win, or however many wins we need to have, that we can make it so that everyone has got the opportunity to have success, or to make something useful out of it. So that's kind of a part of it. Is there anything, Ray or Justin, that you'd like to add to that as well?
Yeah. One point difference is that people come to us is not because Bit.Country, it's because of you. It's your people, right? They want to check out your world, your culture. What's the sky, or what's the color of your sky? What themes of your buildings? Because in your metaverse, if you have a majority of the land, you still have control over everything you want, including each building blocks, the ground, the sky, as I mentioned. So we have a global map. We build a big, map engine. You have individual metaverse maps. Let me just use Gardi's Fantasy World. Gardi Fantasy World has a map. Gardi, can you put a map just like a Google map on your website, on your blog website, and people can zoom in, zoom out, and can just drag the like Street View, can just go into your 3D world directly without actually leaving your website. So this is really personalized, white labeled world that mirror yourself in a different dimension, all right? And what we've seen is anything that's created by user, they are very special to their people. And we believe the stories, the contents, the buildings, the governance, the power sharing, the legacy happening in your metaverse make the entire network thrive over time and for a long time, because it's not our story. Whereas now you go to other metaverse nowadays, you ask yourself a question, I want to see a Mars in the sky. Can you do it? No, they can't, right? They wouldn't allow you. Whereas in your metaverse, that's your own governance. We don't have a power over that. Yeah. So plus that we, Shannon and the team creating an API. Not only you can write a smart contract on our Metaverse.network, but also you can write new experiences in your world. I know you're not a developer, don't worry. So we're working with the partners who launch games created a native in Bit.Country. That means with a store of different game apps, you can choose to make that game available in your metaverse. For example, Treasure Hunt. Likely we're going to create ourselves as the first game. People, before they enter in your existing land or real estate, they can pick a mission, and then they join your world because of mission, a task, rather than just go there, check out what it looks like, and seeing what NFTs. But there's a lot of things that we want people to do. We want a user created world, not we create a world, ask you to appreciate. That's why all the land blocks distributed to the user are not transferable. Once you deployed on the map, you can subdivide them and then transfer the subdivisions. So that means your people have a chance to own something special in your heart, in your world. Putting a nice NFTs in a nice spot, and subdivide the surrounding subdivisions, and potentially, that's higher value than, the rural area of your world. So this is the way that we want to do. We want user to build their mind, their stories there, and then the entire thing on the continuum. We imagine one day we have 1,000 to 10,000 metaverses. You can zoom in, zoom out, seeing different color, different stories, different events happening. That I believe is gonna be an epic scene.
Well, it will. Thanks, Ray. I think you've answered a few of the other questions already as well. I think Tuan's question as well was about that. So I'll go to the next one here. Will there be a staking or LP opportunity for Near?
Yeah. So Justin, do you want to talk about it, or?
Sure. Yeah, I can talk about it. Yeah. I think that's really good questions. I guess that's quite a number of people they asking that question before as well. For the utility of like the Near token. Yes, I mean in terms of like the staking, in our roadmaps we got all the different phases to roll out. So initially the Near will providing like a staking opportunity into like all the collator node because like Bit.Country by Near network is we are like the prior chains on the Kusama network. So it technically is quite similar concept of you staking for a validator. But in this case, you're going to stake for collator, to earn some interest. So on the second phase, that you can also have the opportunity to stack into the land. Okay, so to earn some mining currency. So that's you can use that mining currency to build up for your own world. So that's like initially that two mining and staking opportunity, and also in terms of like liquidity providing and stuff like that for the for the Near tokens. Initially we're going to do some more providing like the LP with some more like cross change on any other parachain to providing like the pool liquidity for our Near tokens and some other like KSMs and stuff like that to provide liquidity for that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the initial on our roadmap. But I think it's more on that in the later stage. Depends on the council. We can enable like the social token. So that's the like the each metaverse they can stack their own social tokens with the Near LP as well. So yeah, I guess that hopefully that's answered your question.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit more. I was reading the comments. Maybe Justin already covered. So we have an in-game currency. Justin, you mentioned that, right? Yeah. So in-game currency use cases are, so Neum is like an Ether, like a KSM, like DOT. You can use that pay transaction fees. It's a coin. It's a native coin on our blockchain, right? In the Bit.Country metaverse itself, there's another currency. You can think as US dollars, right? And it's called a BIT. Bit, okay, that's why we call it Bit.Country. Your country, your metaverse is made by BIT. So if you want to develop a new buildings or features on your land, that all consume a number of BIT that you mined. Okay, BIT doesn't have a total supply. However, it's released as controlled according to total amount of land on the network. So we know that how much you need. As well as community members, we use that to mint, to produce amount of BIT per period. So, for example, every day we produce 10,000 BIT, and then 10,000 BIT allocated to the people who own land on the network. So people have a land ownership. It doesn't matter which world. Okay, as long as you have a subdivision land, you have a mining power on the network. You can mine for the BIT. Just mention that part of the reward from staking is BIT allow people to receive passive BIT token, and also we want to support self land staking because ensure your own behavior. If your entire metaverse doing something wrong, potentially council can slash you. Your self staked Near will be punished, will be slashed. So in this way, that when you secure, you stake your Near on your own land, you will receive a portion of your allocation per BIT production period, right? The rest 80%, again, I'm just using an example. We haven't finalized the percentage, but we are around that. The rest 80% will be earned through different meaningful community building activities, such as how diligent you are to building your buildings. If you keep coming back to make sure there's no rubbish on your land, if and you'll play some games, competition to prove that you are an elite member, or share some meaningful post, do something good for this metaverse, and then you can mine the rest 80%, right? Some people may ask a question, hey, I'm a wheel, I contribute a lot of KSM, I got so much land, I don't have time to mine all this BIT myself, right? So that's where it comes in. A landlord can create a mining group, allow to assign the mining power to members on that group without transferring the land ownership. So this creates more opportunity for community members who haven't got the land be able to earn by contribute, adding value to the communities. Nowadays people call it play to earn. We always want to call it, building community to earn, which is a strong value proposition nowadays for everyone, for projects, for companies. So that's a use case of BIT. Another thing I want to mention, your mining power is related to the level of the metaverse the land belongs to. Okay, if you have a land, in a level 3 Bitcoin metaverse, has a much more high mining power than the land in the level 1 metaverse. This again, part of the reason to level up your metaverse is that we look at your economy, your land development activities, as well as when you upgrade, you need to burn a sizable amount of BIT to lift up your kind of civilization level. So BIT is used everywhere, or BIP can be used as a gift. People play the game. I set up a pool. The top 10 winners, we distribute this amount of a BIT in the pool. So as a metaverse owner myself, for example, Ray's Kingdom, I would do that because I want to conduct for some meaningful games in there, some competitions to reward them for their work, and also bring the happiness, the liveliness of the community. So it's an in-game currency, yeah. And as Justin said, there's a swap between the BIT and the NEAR. That means we'll give opportunity to the liquidity providers perform the peer provider.
Excellent. Thanks, Ray. I think we answered a few questions with those. So I'm going to jump down to, is there any plan for the builders, 3D artists, NFT artists, architects, etc.?
Yeah, that's Shannon's question.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so when it comes to 3D artists, architects, builders, and things like that, yes, it is a goal as well to make sure the platform can support those kind of use cases as well. So, for example, having the ability to create your own NFTs or bring your NFTs over from potentially other blockchains and such as well. So if you happen to make an NFT on Ethereum or something, with the bridge that Justin and the blockchain team set up, so that we can bring things over from Ethereum, you'll be able to put that in the world as well. So yeah, there's definitely a good use case there for you to be able to create those arts and so on, and potentially put them in the world, to bring awareness to them, to sell them on the marketplace that's available with Bit.Country as well. Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit there. In terms of, I guess, like architects and building and things like that, we definitely also see that could be quite a large market or opportunity for many people as well inside Bit.Country, because there's going to be a lot of times when a metaverse owner or something like that doesn't necessarily have the time or the skill, the expertise to build out the world themselves. So we're definitely thinking about it as a platform to be able to try and maybe have somewhere where people can list themselves or find those sorts of builders, so that they can actually kind of enlist their services, help them to build out their world and things like that as well. So yeah, we definitely see there's a lot of opportunities there. If you happen to do 3D models or anything like that, if you happen to do paintings or artwork, that could be another possibility. We also, of course, want to look at and consider potentially other forms of arts and creators as well, sound, music, stuff like that. So yeah, that's something that's really quite important to us, to be able to support that. So it's really quite quite a lot of different levels, the opportunities that are available through the platform. So you could be a metaverse owner, you could be a resident in the metaverse, you could be a builder, someone who makes 3D models, maybe you make nice wearables for the avatars to have in the world. Yeah, I think there's quite a bit to really share about that part, and in terms of what you could really get involved with if you happen to be doing those sorts of things.
Thanks, Shannon. There's a role for everyone in the metaverse, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a new space, right? I want to add a little bit more. I had a webinar yesterday with I translated a Chinese clothing design company. They're holding a webinar. I was the speaker. They have about over 30 master students join the session. They are doing clothes design using 3D, right? And I was invited by this gentleman called Tutu, who is the architect based in UK, and I had a webinar about the metaverse. Essentially, we need people creating wearables, 3D models for people to wear, because our avatar, you can wear NFT clothes, shoes, and a hat. And then this morning I chatted with the guys, would that be like a made in China for clothes in the metaverse as well? Now the chances are, because the students were so excited, now they think, now I can turn my design to a product directly without a factory. Yes, you're onto it. So that's really exciting. They design beautiful clothes, and then talk to us. You know, we will have a lot of people want to have their bespoke, customized suits and hats in that way. I'm not seeing another in New Zealand. I have a student who is now real estate agents. I talk about metaverse. He wanted to join us, become a real estate agent in the metaverse. Can introduce why this land is better than the other, because there's more mining power, or in a high level metaverse, you see the neighbors, you got Justin or Shannon's neighbor, and this is potentially have a higher value in the future if you sought after. So it's all possibilities, but our job is to make sure we have an infrastructure, the metaverse economic infrastructure, and also the UI is sustainable for customization and develop, on top of that. That's why, I gave Shannon a very important KPI in terms of the performance. The world has to be loaded within 2.5 seconds. Now it's happening like that. It could be faster, a little bit slower, but the world is a click away, and you can start seeing your world, your sky. So that's a lot of opportunity. Just look at the comments. Hey, thanks, Mr. Band, for your contribution. David, if you can align on the better in communities call, for example, so that information can be better spread. It's an exciting project, but everything goes very fast. Suddenly, success. Thank you, David, for your advice. Totally understand. Actually, Kusama made an announcement all of a sudden, in the name of expecting chaos. Yeah, that was a bit chaotic too for us. We thought December is gonna be the time for the Kusama auction, but we realized gonna happen in 2 days. So our co-team actually developed, which Shannon gonna show you next, how to contribute on our Crowdloan page within 2 days. We had a little bug, but it's all resolved. We continuously monitoring the logs, but all data is very safe. All the referrals are very safe. We keep actually in 2 different places. Yeah, it's just happening really fast. And another thing is that we have 7 admins on the Telegram channel. We keep monitoring that. We'll have a very engaging conversation there. If you have problems or have any questions regarding this session or our future plan, feel free to go and ask. And I sometimes help as well. Especially, I'm an early morning person. While they all sleep, I can start helping some question and answers. Yeah, thanks for your advice and the support. That's really good. It's just happening really fast. We haven't had that much sleep. These guys been just developing our page. So how about we show people about our beautiful Crowdloan page with the canary dance effect when you contribute. It's very simple. If you're holding KSM, it takes about 20 seconds to make the transaction, and then you'll be part of the pioneers. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I will jump in then. All right, so let me just get my screen shared for everyone. Just a moment. All right. Cool. And we should be sharing it very soon.
Perfect.
Yep. All right, awesome. You should all see that all fine now. I'm sure in terms of the link to be able to get to this page will be shared shortly. Just so you can kind of get a bit of an idea. So on the homepage, you can learn a little bit more about the benefits of getting involved in the crowd loan and kind of how the whole thing fits together and such. Also, how you can participate. It's fairly straightforward. Just make sure that you do have some KSM. Make sure you have your Polkadot JS extension installed and set up. It looks like this logo when you have it set up inside your browser. So once you have that all set up, and you're pretty much ready to go. So make sure you have a read through this, make sure you understand it all correctly. You can also check out this Learn More to go to the Medium article to learn a little bit more details about the whole process and such. But otherwise, when you're ready, you can jump on over to the Crowdloan page itself. So when it comes to the Crowdloan page, there's not much to fill in. Pretty much it's just the amount of KSM that you want to put in. You can also apply any referral codes that maybe you've got from friends or anything like that you happen to find online. If that's the case, you can just paste it into here. It should auto check. If anything goes a little bit weird, you can always click the check button, and then you get a bit of an estimate or a breakdown in terms of what you could potentially earn in terms of near. It is important to keep in mind that it is an estimate. It really depends on how the crowdloan goes, how many people get involved, all that kind of stuff, what the actual final result will be. But yeah, that's definitely what you're going to see, and that gives you a little bit of an idea, so you can have a bit of an idea on what to expect once the crowdloan is kind of over and once the distribution starts. So just a moment. If I grab a referral code, for example, maybe I'll swap over to another account. We grab a referral code. If you get a link that looks similar from someone else, you'll get something with a referral code already built into it. So potentially when you load the page, it will already be there. Once you see all this kind of stuff, it'll be kind of all set up and more or less ready to go. Do keep in mind that the minimum contribution is 0.1. That is a requirement from the Kusama blockchain itself. We don't have any ability to kind of change what the minimum contribution is, but that does mean you can go pretty small in terms of how much contribution you do. And of course, any contribution is great. As kind of Ray shared earlier, we really want to try and have as many people as possible getting involved in it, so we can distribute the token to as many people as possible as well. So once you've kind of decided that you're all happy with the amount that you want to do, you got your referral code applied, all that kind of stuff, you just click this lock KSM. Once you're happy to go forward with the whole thing, you probably won't be able to see my extension pop up, which is asking me to sign the transaction. So let me just do that quickly. So you enter your password and everything that you set up. When you set up your wallets and such with the extension, you put in your password, you click sign transaction. We've just finished it now. Please note that it's best that you just stay on the screen, wait till it finishes. It will take a little while the blocks are finalized on the blockchain and such. You can see a little bit of progress happening with the messages in the top right. Shouldn't be too much longer. And once all the details are finalized in the blockchain, we'll get a message to show that everything's all complete, let you know a little bit more details in terms of referral code and such, and that will pop up fairly soon. So we've got the finalized. Now we've got a notification. So if you want to just quickly share it with everyone, there's your opportunity to do it. But at the stage, you've successfully done it. So congratulations, and thanks very much for getting involved. Click OK, and let's watch a little bit of a video of an excited canary. So yeah, that's pretty much the process to go through. You can see it's pretty straightforward. There's not really a lot to get involved with. But yeah, that's giving you a little bit of an idea of the whole thing. There's still other things to learn about, so definitely check out the Medium article, check out the site itself, learn a little bit more. But otherwise, yeah, I think that gives everyone a little bit of an idea on the whole process. So let me just close this down. Cool. All right. Yeah, so pretty straightforward.
Cool. That's a great. Thanks, Shannon, for your contribution again. Shannon be contribute 0.1 for testing. So did I. Next time, make sure you use my referral code. Okay. Yeah. So the canary bird been flying around across different Twitter accounts these days. We have thanks to the community, we have we launched 3 days ago. We have the most contributors for the. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, everything's all good. Seems.
Yeah. So for the last 3 days, we have the most contributors joining us. Really appreciate that. We can see that the demand is really high, and the people are really interested in launching their own metaverse for their community. So yeah, we'll make sure we'll deliver. And yeah, you guys can still hear us, right? The 2 other guys dropped.
Yeah, I can still hear everything. So I think everything's all good. Just the connection dropped or something.
Yeah. So yeah, again, thanks for the updates, and also Picasso doing so well, and we, their team, our team, our friend. I think they will win this auction, and in the next few days also we'll make some announcement about our partners that joining us to launch their own metaverse. Potentially can bring a lot of value to all other metaverses. So yeah, and yeah, so probably we use time to go through the other questions. We'll just try to connect. Where are other questions? How can you tell how many people are online?
I'm not sure if we can see that. I think possibly only the host can see that.
Hey guys, can you type something hi when you online? Oh, feel free. Good. Say hello. Type hello in the comments if you're online. All right, let's go through the questions. All right. So there's another question. Do you plan to? We got that one. Should I invest more into Near or Neum? Which one will bring me special gift? At the moment, only people have a KSM can participate on Crowdloan on Bit.Country Pioneer Network. Neum is not available yet. However, in the future, there will be public sale for early contributors. Thanks, team. Great message there. How do lands given to contributors significantly, say, over 100 KSM, differ from those? That's a good question. We wouldn't punish our strong supporters. Basically, our goal is to use a formula to work out how much per square meter, and then we use that to add up. And also, early adopters with a lower contribution potentially get a little bit bigger. This is kind of our goal. How do we create infrastructure like roads and buildings, the land allocated in the Pioneer? Do we need a Near? No, whenever you build inside the world, the only token you use is BIT, which you can mine through staking and play different games or tasks. So the infrastructure is you can build yourself. We support both voxel system, like a Minecraft using voxel system. You can build by yourself just inside the game without leaving the context. You also can build the 3D models outside, follow our specification, import them, and they also consume your BIT because we work out the space and the size to ask you to burn some BIT to deploy that. Again, burning BIT to deploy buildings, make sure that all the metaverse actually not being spammed with different kind of things potentially can just degrade the performance. Are you going to have other apps into? Yes. So we could. So far, we have teams like MetaDojo. They found this great opportunity to build on our network at the same time can access to hundreds, metaverses. What they're looking for is that they want to focus on the interior design experience of different metaverse, different buildings on the metaverse, because there's some people who want to build themselves. There are some people want to buy the buildings already be built by professional team with the facilities inside the building. That's where MetaDojo come in to solve that problem. So they're gonna develop on metaverse network blockchain using Solidity smart contract. At the same time, they can provide a service to the other metaverses to make the world more beautiful. One Limbo. What requirements one expect to meet before participating? Again, we're not doing for Polkadot yet. So the governance part, we have a network console, we have Metaverse Council, Technical Committee. It's fairly standard substrate governance structure. So all the near holders can create a proposal through democracy, and then if a popular proposal and then become public referendum, allow everyone to vote. Once it's voted, can be executed on chain, or need to be developed, will be monitored by our technical committee. So, yeah, whoever holds the NUM have a power on the network and shape the future. Is there an update about university? We partner with quite a few universities. We haven't announced yet. The one we announced is Berkeley Blockchain Department and the Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator. So they are sending their students to their own metaverse on Bit.Country to practice their, to understand, have a visual and a real world example to learn about blockchain at the same time building, hopefully, a Berkeley campus. The cost, that's a great question. A lot of people ask. We're still preparing for it. We tend to start a course when we have our testnet released, so the students can come in to learn how to build, how to use their skills to develop more experience, to fulfill those new opportunities. Yeah, our testnet will be as soon as possible. Definitely, end of this year, we'll put something public, allow people come in, play using testnet token. How will it be the first tool be available to test and start building step by step? It's very simple. People who can play Minecraft or any kind of game, or even just an RPG game, they all know how to play in this world. So there's a comment from Omar. It's about volume. From Polka.
I think that was in regards to the assets and stuff. So it's about volume then, I believe.
Yeah, the volume. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you deploy a very complicated, a 3D model, potentially the network protocol will ask you to burn more BIT to protect the world and make sure that you efficiently optimize your model, your 3D object. Yeah. So basically, your world space is all resource, right? And even in your metaverse, in Omar's kingdom or world, you have subdivisions, right? The other landowners, you also don't want them spam the whole world, so they need to burn BIT to deploy their objects. So you know that they wouldn't just put any junk into the world potentially, and also they have self-staking, and that's their own land. So with the three constraints, we believe they will strive to build something really nice for your community. This one from Josh. To derive off close designer concept, this make it possible for proof of concept for engineer to build airplanes, vehicles. Yes, absolutely. Like Shannon mentioned, what's the file format, Shannon?
So typically we'd prefer that all the file formats were .glb or .gltf. You can do .obj as well, object, but GLB is the one that we kind of support the best at this stage in terms of being able to have the textures and animations and everything all working as intended.
Yeah, so basically, if you design a 3D model using export to that format, there's a tool for you to import them, deploy. It's like almost like a what you see, what you get scenario. You can also resize it. You can also put in the location you want it, but you can only deploy on the land that you actually have ownership, and also that requires the BIT burning to deploy the 3D object. We calculate on the volume and also the complexity. Yeah, so I think that's all the question. Again, those ladies just lost the connection. But thanks for everyone for attending. It's a really great to meet everyone and see your questions. If you have more questions, put in the comments. We can explain to you. And then if it's, the session finished, you can put the questions on Telegram. Our team is more monitoring the Telegram because it's really easy to interact, whereas our Discord has a lot of channels. Telegram is more kind of under control. So yeah, meet us there. We have Shannon, Justin, myself, and the other members, and marketing lady Mia. They also there help. Feel free to ask any questions. Yeah. Cool. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Alistair.
Cool.
All right, shall we conclude?
I think I see that there was one question that missed because it managed to go through voting and got shifted all over the place. There's one from Pham Nguyen. Apologies if I got that wrong. So Bit.Country is a new level of social interaction that includes 2D social media and 3D gaming platform with VR visualization in the future. It's very cool, but it seems to be a bit difficult for non-crypto people, almost influencers, to use it. How Bit.Country can attract influencers and teach them to build their own metaverse, create games, currency. Okay, so the main question is how can we attract influencers and teach them to build their own metaverse, create games and currency? Okay, so I think that's kind of something that's been partly touched on from some of the earlier answers and such. Of course, we talked about the possibility of people who own the metaverse are busy. They don't necessarily have time to build it out themselves. So being able to kind of like delegate or share the ability to build in the world is something that's important. So potentially those influencers, they can hire services of builders to build out their world, to create their experiences, a little bit like Ray touched on as well. They could take some of the existing game modes or missions and things like that already exist and be able to put that into their world as well. So that would be a lot of the way that can make that whole process kind of simpler. So they can kind of take maybe packages that already exist or like a template that they can start with, take the services or enlist the services of people who can build it out for them. That's going to be one way, of course, to make it easier for a lot of people so that it's simpler for non-crypto people. I can also add that the platform is ideally keeping to the process of if you don't have to have any blockchain interactions as such, like maybe you're not dealing with a currency and such, that there's a lot you can still do as just a plain user of the platform. You may be a little bit limited in what you can do, but you can still get in, you can still socialize and get involved and stuff like that. But you may miss out on some of the opportunities related to some of that more cryptocurrency and blockchain-based parts. So it is still a goal to make sure that a lot of users can get in easily. That's not hard to get started, that you don't have to be a crypto genius or something to be able to use the platform. When you get to the higher levels, yes, it does start to need that crypto knowledge. It does start to require that blockchain usage, but it isn't the only way you can get involved. Yeah, so I think that more or less covers that question. And I guess that's pretty much all the upvoted ones and the ones I think went missing.
Thanks, Shannon, for capturing that. Anyway, thanks everyone. Omar and David are so early over there. Unfortunately, our time zones, the best time for our team, to present. So welcome back.
What did I miss? No, I'm joking. I could hear you.
So thanks for coming back to conclude this meeting.
Yes. Oh, I just want to thank everyone for coming. I know it's really late. I did see earlier comments like, why can't you do it at another time? We are noting it and we will do different time zones, I promise. I just, I think we've got the best community out there. You guys are the best. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks for your participation. You've been awesome. So that wraps up our crowdcast on Kusama, or Polkadot and Kusama crowdloans. I hope you learned a lot. And let's bring the metaverse to Kusama. That's it. Thank you. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, Ray, Shannon, Jackson. Bye.
Bye.